Hi, I'm Melissa with Shape of the City, and I am here with Shane, and we are at a garden that is part of Project Mother Child with St. Monica's. And let me know a little bit about St. Monica's before we get started.
Okay. St. Monica's is a program where we work with women in treatment. So we work with addiction and co-occurring mental health, and it's specifically for women. St. Monica's has been around for 53 years, and we are helping women and their kids.
So tell us a little bit about the Project Mother Child program that we're sort of behind in the backyard of right now.
Okay. This program is specifically for mothers and their children. The children live here with their mothers. Their goals are parenting and working on getting engaged with their child, a lot of times getting their children placed back with them. And our bigger goal is that they can transfer back into the community together with each other so that they have those skills, those life skills with them when they go.
Okay, now we have a lovely garden back here. Can you tell me a little bit about how the gardening program here started and how it's utilized right now?
Sure. The garden began, we're about 4 years in, and we started we had an idea. One of the staff here had initially thought, okay, let's do something different, and asked for green thumbs in the area. And I happened to be one of those people who was interested in helping out, and I grow a garden at home. And one of the ideas is that working in a garden is considered therapeutic. We kind of know this, people that do it know it. That's my safe place. It's where I go to be happy and just think through things. But then also a way to engage mothers and kids together by doing something hands-on that is therapeutic and also a life skill.
Wow. And talk about, you have the garden here. Do you have any other gardens through St. Monica's?
We do. We have a few that we've got 7 different locations, but we've got one that started this year that is really trying to get up off the ground, and they're not quite as big as this one. This one's still fairly small. And then we have a few potted plants here and there we have a tomato little bed that some of the gals are using at one of our adolescent program. But this one here is sort of it's the example we're using that we're getting started on.
Perfect. All right, in terms of the response from the mothers and the children, what sort of response have you had so far?
We get all kinds of responses. For the most part, it is considered something that they really enjoy. Some gals are really hands-off, don't want a whole lot to do with it, but once they see their peers getting involved and getting the kids involved, they tend to want to join in. What we have is it's their community garden, so it's their garden. Staff help out, staff train. I help, they do everything from the planting of the garden to the upkeep. So right now our gals have a rotation. They decide who's watering when, who's picking when. We highly encourage them to work together and also get the kids involved. But for the most part, it's all about their community and using it as a therapeutic space as well. So we have the swing here where they'll come and just sit so they can smell the smells and they can see the sights. But then also we encourage them to get into the garden. And this includes everything from the upkeep, but also what they find in the garden. So the insects, we had a bunny nest that the little gals here found, and they were worried that they weren't going to find their mother, so they put rocks in the garden. Those rocks will stay there for the duration of them being here. So there's a lot of different aspects, but overall the therapeutic aspects of a garden we find are really important to the gals. And sometimes it's just a matter of what they choose to put into it and what they choose to get out of it, and it could just be sitting here and looking at it.
So beyond the therapeutic, what do you think are the benefits for mothers and children getting out in the garden, as well as anyone of any age or background? What are the big benefits?
I think overall, for anyone who would like to get in the sun and in the fresh air, it's great just to be outside. But then you look at the therapeutic benefits of just putting your hands in dirt. There's something calming about just digging in the ground, seeing what you can do as you put effort in, from the time you plant a seed to the time it grows in, you're getting the fruits. And again, like I said, just sitting out here sometimes in this space can be very quieting, and it can help. A lot of our gals say that it just helps me think. They'll sit out here for a quiet space. But then also they're learning life skills. They're learning not just the planting and the upkeep of a garden, but how to use those things later on. And so, for instance, we did meal planning for the household this morning, and one of the gals spoke up and said, have we checked the garden for that? I think it was tomatoes this morning that they were looking for, and green peppers actually this morning was one of them. And someone said, no, they weren't quite ready yet, you know, so they're learning how to use these items in their daily lives too.
If you have mothers and children, there's this magic moment that can go on in a garden that might not go on anywhere else.
Exactly. And they're teaching their children those life skills as well. So while they may be just sitting here talking about, oh yeah, that's a tomato, see how it grows? They're also connecting. They're engaging with one another, they're talking to one another, and they're building those relationships that maybe they are struggling with, or maybe when they first came in, they didn't have those skills. And so yes, there's a lot of magical moments that happen out here. And we also see the children teach their parents things too. We utilize the garden in the daycare with the children who attend the daycare, who also go to PMC, or Project Mother and Child, and they'll come out, we'll teach them something specifically through the daycare program that then they'll continue and teach their mothers. So, oh yeah, I learned this about bees. I learned this about, look at the colors in this plant. So there's a lot of learning, there's a lot of engagement, there's a lot of just overall being together, which is really cool to see.
What tips would you have for another organization out there that might want to start something similar to this?
I would recommend, first of all, looking within your organization, see if there's anybody that is interested in starting up a garden. It can be small, start small, don't try to put too much into it. Look in the community. Community Crops is a great resource. There's lots of resources out there. There's a lot of people who would like to volunteer. We've utilized volunteers from the get-go. And really just listening in and understanding that it's not about being professional, it's not about perfection, it's about having fun and enjoying the time that you have.
What I love about this is that there's the therapeutic, there's the bonding, but I mean, then there's just the health benefits, the physical health benefits.
Yes.
There's the healthy eating, there's being a little bit more active.
Physical activity.
That's a pretty amazing package that comes with the garden, right?
Yes, and we know, especially for people who are struggling with, mental health issues or even addiction, those things can be really important to their treatment, really important to getting healthy. And so even if you don't maybe have those specific problems, everybody can benefit. And it's really important to acknowledge that if we just give ourselves a little bit of time, and sometimes in nature is the best place to find that, we might find out amazing things about ourselves.
Well, thank you so much. And it looks like you've got a pretty good crop coming in right now. So
I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.